Hi, I'm David Preston, and this week on Cook Like a Bastard, we're cooking a Sunday dinner. That's right, we're going to cook some pork roast, some carrots, potatoes, a corn souffle, Brussels sprouts. It's going to be damn nummy. You're going to see it here on Cook Like a Bastard. What a wonderful family tradition coming together for Sunday dinner. Today we're going to be making pork roast. Now you may remember this pork roast from earlier in the season. That's right, this is the other half of the pork that we used in the chili in episode 1. As you can see here, it looks like I'm going to be scary and spicy and everything evil. And then this half has become Sunday morning. Just an easy dinner that you're going to have every couple weeks when you bring the whole family together. So I'm going to put a rub on the pork. I'm going to cook it with some fingerling potatoes. Not to get confused with fingers. We've had a few fingers in our meals already this season, but none today. Some carrots. Then we make a simple corn souffle and a very easy way to make Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to start with just kind of putting some of the carrots and potatoes in the pan, just on the bottom of the pan here. Just because I want to get them out of my way and so I don't forget them. And the oven, as long as you're on this side of the oven, you might as well think about turning it on. And I turn it on at about 350, and you're going to want to cook it for about 20 minutes for every pound. I have about 3.5 pounds here, so you can do the math. So I'm going to make my rub pretty simple here. I'm going to start with a little paprika, some sea salt, some garlic powder, and some pepper. So I'm just going to grind up the pepper just a little more. You want the pepper fairly coarse. That's why I do it in here opposed to doing it in my grinder. But you need to work it in, and just it's kind of satisfying to do this if nothing else. So I got this very coarse pepper here. I'm going to put in my bowl here. Pour in my pepper, my salt, probably not this much garlic powder, so, tablespoon or so, and then some paprika. Just going to mix this up. Just going to whisk this to mix this up nicely. And it's very simple to apply this. I'm actually using just a little baking pan here that I'm going to put this on. So I'm just going to dump this on the baking pan and spread it around. And roll it around like a pig in the mud. Oh, that's probably not the right joke to be making about my pork, who's sacrificed himself for my Sunday dinner. Thanks, pork. So this is so easy to do. I'm just rubbing it in with my hands. Make sure I'm getting all of it flavorful, because this is going to seek through the whole pork and make it nummy, nummy, nummy. So some other things we're going to be putting to season this, we're going to be cutting up an onion and putting some fresh rosemary and some fresh thyme on there while we're cooking it. So this looks very good. I just got it coated here, and I'm going to put it in the pan right on top of the carrots. Make sure I got enough room in there. I do, good. So then my top coat here is going to be a sliced onion. Onions are easy to slice. And while you're preparing this meal, think a little bit about all the Sunday meals in your life that you had. All those Sunday dinners and how they happen to come together, and the camaraderie of friends and family. Every once in a while, food just doesn't have to be silly and bastard-like. It could be memorable. Not that cooking like a bastard isn't memorable. And while we're at it, I should probably get it clear that I am not a bastard. I cook like a bastard. I like to get that clear pretty soon in the show, because sometimes it goes, well, bastard. Now, so, enough of that. So I'm going to take some fresh rosemary here. Let's put this on top. And just grab a little thyme. And what are we doing for prep time here, speaking of time? We've been on this thing for couple minutes or so. And I'm going to put this in the oven. Or am I? Bet you could use just a little something. I'm going to put a little bit of white wine. Apparently not a very good one because I didn't finish it. 3.5 pounds times 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And we have a meal. Next we'll be making some Brussels sprouts. Okay, we've put our roast in the oven. Now we're going to heat it for, in our case, probably about an hour and 15 minutes or so, or until it gets 145. Now remember, those of you who think about old-fashioned roast where you had to get them up, a pork roast where I think you had to get up to like 379 degrees of your internal temperature, or 160. The rule is now from the feds, 145. Remember that, 145. That means better pork. It means it's not going to be dry and icky. All right, so we are going to be making some Brussels sprouts now, and I know the vote is out and some people don't like Brussels sprouts and some do. I like them. You know why I like them? Because I figured out how to make them. We're going to make them out of the hundreds and thousands of ways you're going to make them today. We're going to make them the way I like to have them. Pretty simple. So I got my Brussels sprouts here. I got, I don't know, a pound or so. And I've just been cutting the bottoms off because they need little platforms to sit on. And this is so simple. I've turned my oven up to 425 degrees because you're going to roast that living hell, I said it, out of these guys. And they're going to become crispy and nummy. So I've cut the ends here, I've washed them. I'm going to just put them in a bowl. And have all their friends join them in the same bowl. Cut that end off of this one. Get this out of the way for you. I'm going to first put a little olive oil on it because what's a meal in this kitchen without olive oil? So I'm putting exactly that amount of olive oil on there. I'm going to put 1 palm full, or those of you who are measuring spoon so inclined, I'm guessing that's 1 teaspoon and 1/4 teaspoon there. All right, and then pepper. You grind a lot of pepper on this, and the pepper can be, any coarseness you want, but it just needs to have that little, nice little that pepper gives stuff. We're gonna mix it up. Very easily. Put a hint more salt on there, and just a hint more pepper. I was staring at this lime down here, and I think that's the little something this thing needs. I didn't even know I was going to go there. That was a true, I think it's missing a little something. I think a little lime juice in there might make it kind of good. So I'm just going to put a little lime juice on here. I knew I had the lime out for some reason. So you put the lime in the Brussels sprout and you shake it all up with the lime. Sorry. All right, that's it. Almost done. So I'm going to put it on this little cooking pan here. Lay them out. Oh, that's so simple. I'm going to put them in at 425 degrees for half hour, 40 minutes or so. They're going to start blackening up. You'll know they're done when they're done. We'll be right back after this. Just already put our pork in the oven at 350 degrees. It's going to be in there for almost another hour or so. We rubbed that with some pepper, salt, paprika, garlic powder. Put some garlic, whole garlic in there, and some onion in there, and some potatoes and carrots, and a little bit of white wine. Behind me, the Brussels sprouts are cooking. I can hear them sizzling in there. That's what you want. That was just Brussels sprouts, olive oil, salt, and pepper, and cook them as hot as you can. 425 degrees, what we chose here. And the final thing, and mentally, maybe the scariest thing in the whole process, is the corn souffle, because it has that French word in it. You know those French folks? They can cook. So we're going to make this very easy for you because people think it's really cool here. So I'm going to make a corn souffle. So I'm going to start by cracking an egg in here. And then another egg. Got a couple eggs here. And whisk these guys up. Whisk these guys up with a whisk that's in this drawer, if you're wondering where it went. Then I'm thinking what my next move might be in here. I want to get it hot, so I'm going to put a couple, maybe 1.5 serrano peppers, maybe just 1 serrano pepper in, because I'm making kind of a small batch here. If you're making more, go big, or go home, because the nummier, the hotter the nummier. That's what a lot of us think here in the Bastard Studio. And now, all right, so it's very easy to chop this. Chop it small, then they won't notice that it's so hot, maybe. Put you guys in here. It's going good. Some butter. I'm going to pop my butter in the microwave, about half a stick, and melt that while I put the other ingredients together. It's pretty easy to do this stuff. I'm going to put this in on for just about 25 seconds. So I mix the peppers in with here. Put a little pepper in your mix. A little salt. Grab the milk right now and put that in there. Not a lot of milk, but half cup maybe. Maybe not even that much. Butter, which should be melted down a bit, which is. Let it cool. You don't want to be cooking the eggs right now, so make sure the butter is cools down just a smidgen. So I'm mixing this stuff up. See a line? Might as well squeeze a little bit in there. What could it hurt, huh? Okay, we'll pour the butter in here. And we have all the liquids part ready. Now I'm going to show you my flour. I'm not going to put that much flour in, about half that amount, but I'm going to start mixing my corn in here. And that corn is, I don't even know how to measure that much corn, a couple cups of corn probably. And mixing it in with the eggs and the milk and the peppers and the salt and the pepper ahead of time. There you go. That bowl's not big enough. Luckily, I have a bowl right next to it, so it's going to be big enough as I add about half a cup of flour, maybe. Or if more falls in, that's how much we'll add. And the magical ingredient is your baking powder. And that's going to give your souffle the pop that you're looking for. So put that much in, 2 teaspoons maybe, and then mix this up good. I want a little more pop. Not sure what's going to happen, but just a little bit more. So mix this up so you can kind of see an even display of the corn and the peppers and everything coming together here, and then you don't have balls of flour in here. Put just a smidgen more flour. So what this does, you're going to put it, I'm making individual servings. We have a crew of 3 today, so I'm going to be making 3 of them, because it seems like the right amount to make. So this is ready to be put in the pans. I am going to take my 3 little, these are actually, bigger serving spoon dishes. Just put a little bit of olive oil in there, because that's what we do. Put olive oil in whenever we can. And work that around here. Plop in our corn. Plop, such a good cooking term. It comes from the French, le plop. And you'll learn it in all of the best cooking schools. And when you talk about cooking like a bastard, you talk about being at the best cooking show there is. Show and school. So we got these guys together here. Evenly distributed. You put some soda crackers on top of here. And I now remember why I had the extra bowl, because I was going to crush those in here. But conveniently, I'm adapting, because that's the secret thing about being within the Bastard's kitchen. is that things don't go right and you forget stuff. So we're going to crush these up and put them on top of these. And these are going to cook at, fortunately, 350 degrees, just like the pork roast. And you might want to put just a little paprika on here or something just to put it in before the oven. We're going to put these in the oven, and when we come back, we're going to have everything together right here on Cook Like a Bastard. And we're back, and we're all about presentation here, but I wanted to show you what the Brussels sprouts look like before you made your lovely presentation, because they look burnt and crunchy, and really they're good and crunchy. Really good and crunchy. But this is what they're supposed to look like when they get out. So I'm going to put these in a bowl. So there's the bowl, and the corn souffle, these turned out great. I did put a little bit of, and they're really warm, did put a little bit of paprika on the top there. And now let's see how our roast is done. And voila! Look at that. You only want it to set for about 10 minutes after you take it out before you cut it, but oh, smell-o-vision! Where are you? Where are you? That means the roast is done. Hey, and we're done here for this episode of Cook Like a Bastard. Join us next time when we'll figure out how to turn off our timers and cook some great food for you and the family. David TV.